So I was out earlier today, and this has been obviously some of the more interesting news for the WNBA season. And it is that the WNBA have basically authorized a strike. What does this mean? Nothing really. This is just a game of chicken right now. This isn't the WNBA PA saying they're going to strike.
Let's stop sugarcoating it and say this plainly. The WNBA Players Association has authorized a strike, and this is not routine labor theater. This isn't the NBA, where billions cushion every misstep and both sides can afford to posture. This is a league that has never turned a profit, now pushing for a revenue split that, on paper, guarantees owners lose money year after year. That's not leverage, that's the dead end. What's unfolding isn't negotiation or strategy, it's a high-risk collision. If a strike actually happens, the damage won't be symbolic or temporary. Franchises, media deals, and the fragile momentum the league has spent decades building could unravel fast. This moment isn't about squeezing out a better deal anymore, it's about survival. When one side has nothing to fall back on and the other is already bleeding cash, you're not bargaining for the future, you're standing on the edge of an ending.
This means that at some stage they may strike. Do I think that we're going to see them strike? No. I still think the season happens. But it's getting less likely right now, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, that if the WNBA does strike, 90% of the league are never going to make the money again.
Here's the brutal truth no one wants to admit out loud. If this season gets cancelled, 90% of WNBA players will never see money like this again. We're talking about athletes whose entire net worth sits in the five-figure range, players who, under the league's current offer, could be earning $500,000 per season at minimum. Instead, many of them, whose true market value overseas still hovers in the five figures, are demanding seven-figure guarantees that the league simply cannot sustain. And if this gamble blows up, there is no safety net waiting for them. No backup league. No secret pot of gold. If the WNBA collapses, reality hits hard and fast. They go right back to earning exactly what the global market has always said they're worth.
Avoid responsive state negotiation with WNBA and its teams. Time and time again, the players' thoughtful and responsible approach has been met by the WNBA and its teams with a resistance to change and a recommitment to draconian provisions that have unfairly restricted players for nearly 3 decades. The players' vote neither a call for immediate strike nor an intention to pursue one, rather is an emphatic affirmation of the players' confidence in their leadership. So basically, it's just the players saying they're with the PA. That's all this is. And the wording of this,
the Players Association actually put out in its statement, and what it conveniently left between the lines. They accused the league of meeting their so-called responsible proposals with resistance to change and a recommitment to what they labeled draconian rules that have supposedly held players back for decades. Powerful language. But here's the part that statement carefully avoids spotlighting. The league has already put a staggering offer on the table, raising maximum salaries from roughly $800,000 to $1.3 million, with a clear path to $2 million by the end of the CBA. That isn't stonewalling, that's a massive financial gamble from a league that's still bleeding money. And there's one more quiet detail buried in the release. This vote wasn't a strike, it was authorization. Translation? This is brinkmanship. A high-stakes game of chicken where the players are daring ownership to flinch first, betting everything on the belief that the league will cave before the clock runs out.
It just depends on who wins the game of chicken, because this lockout, if the players go on strike or if the owners lock out the players, the WNBA will not exist. It won't exist. Like, this league is done, and not only is it done, Unrivaled is going to start bleeding money very soon because no one's watching it. Project B is going to bleed money from the get-go. That's not going to ever make money. Women's professional basketball, they may as well end it. Like, we go back to 30-something years ago where there might be a couple.
I'll really sit with what happens if the players actually walk. The fallout is immediate and unforgiving. Unrivaled starts hemorrhaging cash the second viewers tune out. Project B never earns a single dollar from day one. Women's professional basketball in America doesn't stumble, it disappears. Overnight, we're dragged back 30 years to a barren landscape where a few fragile, independent leagues struggle to survive, while the infrastructure, the investment, and the hard-won momentum evaporate into nothing. The spotlight snaps back to college hoops, and women's basketball becomes only women's college basketball again, just like it was before the WNBA ever existed. And at that point, it won't matter what Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, or any single superstar does. Talent can't save a system that's gone. Once the professional pathway collapses, there is nowhere left.
if that ends up happening, you're kind of fucked. And it's not one team, two teams, one player, two players. Everyone's fucked. And the reality is that the league has offered 1.3 million. And the WNBA has basically said it. We're where the players have voted to authorize.
Side, and the wording is important. The WNBA officially acknowledged the players' right to authorize a potential work stoppage, but pushed back hard on how the union was framing negotiations, calling it a fundamentally misrepresentative portrayal of the bargaining process. The league emphasized that they're proposing numerous CBA changes meant to benefit players. So, who's closer to the truth? Let's break it down. Previously, the league's maximum salary offer of $800,000 gave players about 9% of total revenue. With the new proposal, $1.3 million scaling up to $2 million, that percentage jumps to roughly 17 to 18%, nearly double what players were previously receiving. The numbers suggest the league is making a significant financial commitment, even if the narrative makes it sound like they're resisting change.
Has to be pushing 17, 18%. And surely, like, they can push the revenue, whatever the revenue is, a little bit up. Surely they can push it a little bit up. And what the league wants to do is, the league wants to have a kind of fixed increase. So basically, like, an uncapped revenue percentage, it does when the salary cap changes year on year on year based on how big the league is going. That is, like, as much as we want to say, oh, it's not, like, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, like, I'm sorry, that absolutely is a massive factor in in free agency, in, like, every single player till the end of time should never sign anything more than a 1-year deal, and there's no reason to stay at teams, and it kind of fuck everybody being on a 1-year deal and expire.
It's the hard truth. The players aren't asking for a fixed percentage. They want an uncapped revenue sharing model, similar to the NBA, where the salary cap adjusts each year based on league growth. On paper, it sounds fair. The league earns more, players earn more. But here's the catch that could wreck the WNBA entirely. In an uncapped system, every player should be signing 1-year deals, because why lock yourself into long-term contracts when the cap could jump 20 to 30% the next season? Rookie contracts turn into a disaster. First-year players get stuck in multi-year deals while veterans ride annual cap increases, cashing in repeatedly. That's not just unfair, it destroys competitive balance. Teams can't plan beyond 12 months, and long-term roster building becomes impossible. This isn't just a financial headache, it's a structural nightmare that could fundamentally reshape the league, and not in a good way.